Well, because of all the A2P stuff.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah,
What are they doing with regards to A2P then?
so they're going to have an agency snapshot and a sub account snapshot. And basically, so their sub account snapshot you can attach to your current, and it creates, because during the A2P registration, you have to give an example page showing where people opt in.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, that page in that form has to be within compliance, meaning that it has to have a checkbox saying that you agree to, SMS, blah, blah, blah. But then there also needs to be an automation behind that, because if you're under manual review and they do test it out, it better work. If they reply stop or anything like that. So yeah, they're building all that. And then they're talking about offering, they're probably going to be offering A2P done for you services.
Yeah,
as well.
I have seen everybody in the group freaking out about A2P and how do I add a checkbox? And I've seen people like, well, here's a little code snippet that adds a checkbox to your site. Like, yeah, but the way HighLevel forms work, that just checking that checkbox doesn't actually go into a custom field unless you actually put that checkbox in a form so that actually people can, yeah. So just having it, because I know that people, I saw somebody ask today, like, oh, how do I put a checkbox in the chat widget? Like, because I know that people, I saw somebody at luck, So,
well, in the chat widget, so nobody's sure how that's going to work yet. Same thing with missed call text back. So even Twilio doesn't know. So with the chat widget, there actually is a opt-in message already. So by clicking submit on there, you are opting in. And that is very clearly defined in the chat widget. The thing to remember, like even with a checkbox in an actual form, you need to be able to track when they actually opted in case you ever in case you were ever audited. So basically, you have to create an automation that says, okay, when this form is submitted, if they check this box that they do agree, you need to fill in the date and time into a custom field saying that was their opt-in date and time. And then if they opt out, you need to also record that opt-out date and time. So there's actually 3 fields that you have to add to be fully in compliance for an audit. Now, who knows if it'll ever go to that point, but that's kind of what they're working on building out and delivering. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, it'll be good. They're going to have a whole educational course on it, as well, to educate clients. So end clients, you'll basically give them free access to a course where they can learn what A2P is, why it is what it is, and what they have to do.
I think the thing is, like, the majority of that is already in the HighLevel help docs. I'm kind of shocked that HighLevel hasn't wired in something automatic with A2P, because they've wired in everything else with SMS. They just haven't wired in the checkbox and things like that. So where you could have on a form, like add the SMS checkbox, So that's what you really like if you're going to be doing anything with, say like appointments or really anything at all, you really just should have that checkbox automatically in there. So I now most of actually all of my clients, I've only got a few of my locations that I'm doing for marketing that I submitted for A2P, and they were they got denied, so I'm gonna have to submit those again. But all my clients are actually all compliant and approved and everything. So far so good. So
yeah, and I think the biggest thing, in all actuality, I mean, it's not a huge deal. I think where a lot of people are going to struggle are the agencies that do trials. and their quick and easy wins are text message based. If it's like, hey, we'll do a database reactivation or anything like that, you're seriously going to have to rethink how you do your trial if you even continue to offer a trial,
Yeah.
because of that.
I would be very wary of allowing trials, just because you've got to do all the A2P work and everything like that. And then, people are going to be trying to do texting and all that stuff. And like really like with database reactivation, I don't think you'll be able, people are going to do it, but hey, I'll probably try it myself. But really, you say, hey, Mr. Business Owner, give me your list of all the people, all your old clients and things like that, and I'm just going to load them up and start texting them. Those people didn't officially opt in, and you have no record that they opted in, unless that business owner got those records, which is very highly unlikely. So you really are not going to be able to do, not officially be able to do database reactivation.
Well, and that's the other side of that. So you take like automotive, and I just use automotive because that's where it came from.
Yeah.
But they have CRMs. So all their customers have opted in. The ones that are text enabled have opted in at some point to text messaging. Sure. However, just because they opted into that phone number for that campaign. You cannot take that list and put it in a different piece of software and start texting them saying, oh, well, they opted in. They did, but not to that campaign. They didn't. That's a completely different software. It's a completely different campaign. It's a completely different number. It doesn't matter if it's the same business. You would have to, if they, say Vin Solutions, their CRM does all the A2P within Vin Solutions for that dealership. Sure.
Yep.
If a high-level agency came in, they would have to do the same A2P registration all over again for the high-level instance. It doesn't go across the boundaries at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's, I'm not a fan of trials. I think if you're having to give away trials, then you probably didn't do enough to add value to the sales process. But definitely there's going to be a lot of people that have to rework their trials either to email based or Facebook Messenger or Instagram DMs.
Well, Facebook Messenger has his own issues with
it. Does. You're strapped to 48 hours. It's 48 hours on that. So as long as they respond back within 48 hours, you can keep that communication channel open. But the minute they don't, and 48 hours goes by, it's a dead channel. And good luck getting a business owner to go into their actual Facebook Messenger to send a manual message to try to re-engage them.
Oh, sure. That's not no kidding.
So that's why they're coming to you in the first place, because they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how many people totally abandon trials. And then, but I think it all stems from education. I think there's a lot of opportunity. I was in a networking group earlier today, and the question was, what's going on in your business? What's the current project you're working on or something like that? And, I talked about A2P. I said, well, we're getting ready to launch a bunch of stuff for A2P registration. And, for those of you that don't know, it's basically where all the US Care, did a very, very high level reasoning or description of what A2P was and the impact it could have. And oh my gosh, I was inundated with emails after the meeting.
I can imagine.
Because one, they're wondering if their current software platform is even going to do, if they're on another provider that they're sending text messages from, now they're questioning if they're going to be able to still use that platform. But then it helps you, just talking about it helps you show up as an industry leader and a thought leader. They're like, oh, wow, this person knows what they're talking about when it comes to all this stuff. So it's a good opportunity to get some new clients. We should be talking about it
for sure,
openly with the public, and just letting them know whether they use, has nothing to do with high level or anything else. it's going to affect any piece of software sending a text message. So
Oh yeah,
the more you can
100%.
educate the general public, the better you're going to look. I mean, it's not going to make you look bad, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Well, I can already tell, like, I mean, just chatting right now, like, I'm gonna have to go back and update our Easy Wins snapshot to include the checkbox and that sort of thing, and for all the forums, and then update the workflows that have the SMS channel to see if, like, okay, if they opted in, then I can do it. Otherwise, can't do it. So, but if they do come in off that web chat, like you said, it's got the information, like the little disclaimer there, and they hit that button, then that will that's opting in. But on your web chat, you need to actually add that opted in date if it doesn't exist yet. So, and then actually enable or set that checkbox to yes. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I would just say, the only thing really that you need to be careful of on the chat widget is that you make sure it's set to default on, because they can change the message in the legal message field.
Yeah,
So
well,
users
right.
can
Yeah,
go in and change it.
sure.
But by default, it says, by submitting, you agree to receive SMS or emails for the provided channel, rates may be applied.
Yeah.
And then you have a send. So you're technically opting in. But if someone puts something silly in there, then the
Right.
TCPA could be like, nope,
Now,
that's
I
not
wonder if
opt in.
somebody, like, if like you said, like missed call text back, nobody knows what to do with missed call text back. So with that, I get a text message back that says, how can we help you? Now, if I respond to that, am I opting in?
Yeah, well, and the question is are since even though it's coming from the software, and this is what Twilio didn't know, was that on the missed call text back, they're not sure if the call is going to be considered opting in because it's not a marketing message going back out, it's a communication message. So
Correct.
they're not
Right.
sure that it's going to fall under the same guidelines, but then they're like, how are they going to monitor that? It's just, there's a lot of gray area. Of course, anytime anything new like this comes out, there's always usually more gray area than there is black and white, and it's just because we've never had to deal with it before, so we don't know what all the use cases and how, I mean, there's a million use cases out there, so it's like, how do you, the hospital, what about
Yeah.
billing? You fill out a paper form and they scan it into the system to create a digital copy of it, but how are they're going to be held to the same standards? Where's that going to fall? So it's just, it's weird. I mean, but I just tell people, I'm like, don't get worked up about it. Just be smart, be proactive, and
Well,
you'll
sure.
be fine.
If you're not out
don't
there
do
just
stupid
bulk,
stuff.
yeah, if you're not bulk blasting people, hey,
Yeah.
click this link and buy my crap on Amazon. Well, then you're probably not going to get hit too hard.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, like, I've noticed that in my on my Android, I've got a spam folder on my phone, and like, it's almost empty. I literally have like 2 text messages in there. So that's about it. And those are from days and days ago. So I'm not getting any more, like, really junk text. So as long as you're
Yeah.
not, you know, like you said, doing stupid stuff, if you're just doing business related stuff, you keep the text simple. You got to keep them mainly free of emojis. Don't send links unless you have a conversation first and say, can we get you, like what we did with our review flows. We said, hey, we'd like you to leave us a review. Do you mind? And if they respond positive, then we send them a link, because then that conversation is happening and the link will actually go through, as opposed to saying, hey, would you review us, and sending the link right up front. So big difference. So if you're
Yeah, I
not doing
think
stupid
agencies need
stuff,
to be more diligent.
yeah,
Like I had a potential client come
or
and
just
I
buy
turned,
really good snapshots like Easy Wins, brought to you by high-level freaks.
There
Easy
you go.
wins.
There you
Easy
go.
wins for your agency. Okay, anyway, back to
But I think like I had someone come up, I turned away a prospect because they were talking about, they used to do a bunch of cold email marketing, but they were going back through these lists and they wanted to text them. And I was like, well, how many text messages are you looking at sending? They're like, oh, about 6,000 a month. And I'm here to tell you, there is very few legitimate businesses that aren't abusing marketing and advertising that are sending 6,000 messages a month.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we text all the time in dealerships and they don't send 6,000 messages a month.
No.
And they do a
Well,
hell of a lot of
any
business.
physical business. I mean, 6,000 a month is a lot. If you're talking
That's
about
a
online
crap
business, yeah, that makes sense. Like if it's an online business, e-commerce shops or any coaching, or if you're a personal brand online, all those people may be doing more, because I had clients who have more than 6,000, but it totally depends. Physical business, I highly like 90%, like more than 90%, they don't need 6,000 per month.
But I think
No
it
way.
requires extra questions. If someone's saying that,
Mhm.
instead of saying, oh, yeah, we can do that, especially with all this A2P stuff, I would definitely ask more questions. Hey, that's awesome. Let me ask you, are these existing customers, or is this, a database
How did you
that
get
you're
those?
buying?
Yeah.
Right.
How did you get that list?
If
Like,
they say,
did they opt in?
right.
Do you
we-
have a
we
record of
bought a
it? Like all
database.
the stuff.
Yeah, we bought a database. Okay, yeah, no, thank you. See you later.
Yeah. Nope.
Not for me. I'm out.
And here's what I would do. I mean, and see, I'm happy I'm in Australia. I don't have to deal with all this crap. But here's what I would do if they say, yeah, I have a list and they've opted in. Okay, well, make sure they put it in written. Like, make sure you have a document, say, hey, you hereby certify that, I don't know, something, just make up something and say that you have a valid list where everyone has opted in and all that. So if you get stuck somewhere, you at least have a proof that this client literally signed it and that's what they told us, so at least document, because this is now becoming a legal thing, and everyone's tracking and tracing it. You better, start recording all that as well, because somehow, somewhere, it would help you.
Yeah, I think in your terms and conditions, it's definitely a good thing to add. If your account gets shut down because you're abusing SMS and you can no longer make phone calls or send text messages, don't come crying to us. We're not going to give you a refund because you abuse the system. So it's just little things to be mindful of. I don't think it's anything anybody needs to be scared of. I think a lot of it's just common sense.
In a way,
business
this is a
practice.
good thing. This is a good thing for people who are serious doing business.
Mm-hmm.
All the crappiness would go away. Like, they would not go away. They would still be there, but they would take a long time to figure out what else can we do. So there would be a huge pause on all the shady stuff that's happening, all the spamminess and all that. There would be huge pause in the industry because they'll have to figure out a new way to spam. So spammers will spam, doesn't matter what, but they'll just have to figure out a new way. So
when there's a will, there's a way, right?
100%.
Yeah, no, it'll cut out a lot of the noise.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, it'll make it easier to get us to, for us to land in the inbox if you're compliant. And again, like you said, as long as you're getting your clients and sitting them down and going, look, this is, you could get blown away by this, or, worst case scenario, you're going to get sued. So this is what you need to do. Here's, create a small, if you've got your clients in a membership area or something like that, where they can do some onboarding and everything, you need to create some videos or at least a little bit of content on what A2P is. You can probably take what HighLevel has in the help docs, condense it. You can literally dump it into ChatGPT and tell it to summarize it, and then dump that into your membership area for your clients. So, and just make sure that, you email them and they click that trigger link, then that way they, have officially, quote, read the documentation. So, and just tell everybody you've had an update to your terms. This is what's going on. And we're just trying to protect you and make sure that you get the best deliverability and service, for your money. So, good way to do it. So, and we had, let's see, Mike, are you back on? Is your mic working?
Can you hear me? I can hear you guys.
There he is. There he is. What's going on with you?
I had to turn the computer off and reset
gotcha.
everything. Yeah, question. So with the Easy Wins being revamped, no outreach and nothing else going on, just Easy Wins for everything, or
Well, we're no outreach is still the cold outreach, snapshot and everything, but Easy Win is like we merged we had our review engine, which had all the review
Right.
funnels and lots of review options and things like that. And then we did Easy Wins that has all the business automations for your brand new clients or for your agency as well, like all the messaging that you're going to need. Basically what we did is we kind of since Easy Wins has now it has 4 different types of review campaigns. So all the way up from like, hey, tell us how you did from 1 to 5 to can we send you a link to the, to go to the review funnel with the 1 to 5 star gating, all the way to a 2 links that said I had a good time or or I had a great experience or I had a unsatisfactory experience. We've got all of those. We've got all the database reactivation, which hey, you could technically still do if you have people opted in and all that. We merged all of that in with the review engines in with Easy Wins. So, and then we released that one update. But now that A2P is an even hotter topic now, like what we were talking about with Charles a little bit earlier about, well, you better record that checkbox and you better record the opt-in time. And if they opt out, you better record the opt-out time, that sort of thing. I'm going to wire those custom fields in and add that stuff to the forms and the automations and probably push a new update. So it's like, hey, this is A2P compliant Easy Win snapshot. So that way you'll have, something that you can push out and know that you don't have to try to wire it back in yourself or anything else. And you'll know that when you do push it out to a client, it's going to be one of those things where you'll have a good option for or you'll know that they'll be able to message without getting slapped or getting marked as spam. So
From what I
like
understand,
example, if you're like a business that wants to do the database reactivation and one of your sequences have text messages going out, right? So we can't send those out right now.
If you've got an existing client base that has opted in or you've been what I would say probably, again, like not an attorney, but if you have had consistent communication with them via the text channel and they have not opted out, then you're still, because we, like in the Easy Wins, we still have it where somebody has any one of the keywords like cancel, unsubscribe, all manner of profanities like F off, that sort of thing.
Right.
You got to have it in there, right? Because some people are just not as patient as others.
Right.
But so remove, subscribe, unsubscribe, cancel, stop, stop messaging, all the different phrases. We've got a million different phrases in the SMS opt-out. And then as soon as that comes in, we set them to D&D on the SMS side. So that way that person won't get messages unless they actually text back in as they start. So they're taken care of there. So if you have been consistently texting people through HighLevel, then yeah, you could do it. I think like Joe Tran has been on this for a long time, like almost obsessively working on workflows for A2P and SMS compliance and things. And I think he was going to release something, like some workflows where you could do some light texting and get people to opt in, existing list or an uploaded list to opt in. I saw like a glimpse of his snapshot. It's just enormous. I don't know that I would go to that level, but he's very careful with the stuff. So, but yeah,
he works with lawyers, so he has to be more careful anyway. So, because they are always on the hunt of anything illegal. But his snapshots and all that, first of all, we haven't seen much about him and what he does, but we know that he's really into this A2P stuff and all that. So, but once again, if one of your client wants to do a database reactivation, there are so many legalities about SMS now. Yes, SMS converts really well, but don't even discount emails right now. Emails still work, right? So if it's a database reactivation, just make sure they are aware, like, hey, there's a new normal legality of A2P compliance and all that. So we want to maybe just wait until we figure out, or maybe just because you don't have a record of how they opted in and all that, how about we just do a database reactivation, but just by email? Just do an email database reactivation. That would still work. I mean, it would not convert as well, but hey, it's better than nothing. Coming back to the conversation you guys were having about trials, like, yeah, there is a place, like there is a time and place where trial is a strategy which works 100%. But if your strategy is to do, hey, let us do a database reactivation so that I can prove that my thing is valuable, my software, my service is valuable, and if the database reactivation is the only thing that you have to show value, then you have to fear, because A2P is going to kill your business, right? But having said that, other than database reactivation, you can do 100 other things to show value. Give them a free website, give them a review campaign, right? Do a review campaign for them. I mean, again, don't use SMS, obviously, but hey, give them AI reviews. Like, hey, let me just go ahead and reply to all your pending reviews. Like, hey, we see you haven't replied. In fact, we still have to figure out the update on AI reviews, because Pabbly just launched a new action where it goes and checks for older reviews and replies to that as well. So AI reviews will be updated with that. That, hey, we know Mr. Business Owner, you have 76 reviews, and out of 76, only 20 are replied. Do you want me to just use our AI and go ahead and reply to all of them? Use that, and that's value. Like, there are so many other ways you can add value to a business to prove that you're worth investment. Don't even fear about, and again, trial, like I said, like, if you want to give a trial, give them a trial, but make sure don't give anything with phone. No SMSs, no nothing. Because, hey, on trials, we don't allow anything, period. You have to be a paid user, and you have to follow our terms and conditions. That's why having a terms and conditions, a clear point in your terms and conditions. And I would even go a step further, just get them to sign a document, man. I mean, if that's a thing, they literally have to sign it. Like, hey, yes, the record, the database which I'm going to upload into our software is a valid database. They've opted in, and I hereby accept that this is a real database. Something like that. I mean, get it crafted by a lawyer or something. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I believe that this would be really helpful, since every single phone company has gone into this. This is a big thing for you guys. So it's better, get all your, everything covered. Put it in the terms and conditions so that they cannot, ask for a refund or whatever. If something goes wrong, if their account shut down and they cannot text ever, they cannot come and sue you guys. Like, hey, because of you, I'm losing my business, right? Because of your software, because I can't text them. You can say, hey, it's clearly in the terms and conditions. And you also signed this document, remember? You're not following that. So cover yourself as much as possible, but you can give so many other value in so many other ways. So don't just think about database reactivation is dead. It is still, email is still really crazily working. Yeah, conversions are not that great, but email still works. So yeah, you can do that as well.
I have a question
Yes, sir.
unrelated to that, and just trying to fish an idea of how to translate the snapshots into other languages, of course, instead of doing manually. Does anybody know anything how to do it like faster than manual?
I don't know that HighLevel's got anything that will that will go through and auto translate like steps and workflows and things like that. So if you're sending out text or emails, I think you'd have to basically do that manually.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Thank you.
know I know a creative person. She does websites, design and stuff. But one of her clients, she does have to do multiple languages for a magazine that she does for them, and she sends it to the VA team every time. She does it. She does the English layout, and then she sends it to a VA squad, and they parse it off to whoever has that's their native language, and they'll translate it. because there's nothing out there that will end up translating it
Yeah.
exactly. You know, Google can't do it. Bing can't do it. They've tried for decades. They still can't get it right. You know, we've all seen it. Oh, here it is in Spanish. That's not how we speak Spanish. That makes no sense to us.
Yeah,
So that's where the problem comes in.
yeah,
So,
there are several different kinds of Spanish. We have
right. Yeah.
Spanish, the South American Spanish.
Yeah.
Peruvian. Yeah, you're right.
But they get it knocked out quick. I mean, she's doing huge brochures, you know, magazines, and they get it knocked out super quick because they understand both languages very well. So it's quick and easy for them to translate it. So I would maybe look into a VA. That may be your most cost-effective way of getting it done.
Yeah, thank you. I'm already thinking about someone I can ask.
Yeah.
Thank you. And by the way, hi Charles, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Awesome. So earlier we touched on outreach, the snapshot, and easy wins. Well, outreach, from what I remember, it's based on email, cold emails only, right?
Just
cold email. About SMS on that, right?
No, well, it will support SMS, but since outreach is made for like B2B cold outreach, right? So you're going to be doing just like you would if you were using, say, Woodpecker or Instantly or GMass or any one of the other cold emailing platforms. It's built for sending those cold emails and getting that response. So we do have it built in so that you could technically text. I think Alok has no problems texting people in Australia. Because over there, the laws are different. You can just blast away. And plus all the numbers over there, he can easily filter numbers on what is a cell phone based off of the area code that's on the number. Whereas over here in the US, I would have to go
every number looks same.
I would have to go through and process it and basically process all the numbers and have them verified, like this is landline or this is VoIP or this is cell phone. And then once I had that clean list, then I could go and text it. But remember, if you're texting a business and you're texting a cell phone, you're most likely texting someone's personal cell phone that they're using for their business. So I probably would not do cold outreach via text.
Got it.
But I mean, the snapshot supports it. I wouldn't do it in the US.
Yeah. I have another question about easy wins, and you answer one of my questions about if it was a must to use ChatGPT or and whatnot. But that's all and done. If you want to talk about it, by all means.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Shoot, I lost my train of thought on the second question I had, and it is about easy wins, ChatGPT. And no, I'll have to.
Okay.
I'll have
so the easy wins has the campaigns built that I have they kind of default to using the ChatGPT workflows. That I have like the GPT workflows are enabled, are published, but if you wanted to, you can swap out and basically publish the non-GPT ones and unpublish the GPT ones. But you can use Zapier, Make, or Pabbly, or I think there's I don't know how many other automation platforms there are out there, but those are the main three. I like Pabbly's GPT a lot. Zapier's GPT is also really, really good. Makes GPT, it's using you can use the GPT-4 API, and I've taken the same prompt in that I've used in Pabbly that does very well and dumped it into Make, and I end up having to do a lot of edits to make it stay inside stay in its lane without having to without it going off and doing a whole bunch of things that I don't want it to do. Now what I've done though is on the Make side, I'm basically nudging people saying, hey, your call got disconnected, please call us back, and it's a very specific instance for like Medicare and stuff. So the Chat GPT was throwing in like random numbers, like call 1-800-Medicare. Like, nope, don't do that. That's not the number I want you to call, you know, that sort of thing. So I ended up having like a very, very big prompt to keep Chat GPT from doing stupid stuff. So I would be careful with how you use Make if you use Make, but I mean, you can use any one of those three. So if you're on Make, I mean, Make is very, very cheap. So, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. And right now, like even with all the texting that we're doing, I think my Chat GPT bill the other day was like for an entire month was like $3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really, really inexpensive. So, yeah.
So I remember, thank you very much for that. I remember the other question, and again on Easy Wins. I watched the video where you all three, Alok, you and another person are talking about the snapshot. So you guys were talking about filling out the custom fields.
Mhm.
Once I filled those out, is my understanding that it should be working. So how do I make sure that all those sequences and automations are working correctly besides?
Yeah, if you've got your integrations set up where you've got it integrated with the GMB or Facebook or Instagram, or and obviously you've got to have your number for the texting. But if you've got all those channels integrated, then if you've got your custom values all set up, everything it's just going to work.
So it's just that.
That's it.
Those
Yep.
custom values, and that's it. Okay.
You're pretty, yeah. I mean, if you need to, like, I would say, like, go through the workflows, kind of familiarize yourself with the workflows, because some of the text has like my voice to it, and I try to be as kind of like generalized as possible, because this covers so many different niches. So like if you are focusing on, say, med spas, or you're focusing on just plumbers or one specific industry, I would go through the workflows and kind of look at the messaging and see if you need to tailor it a little bit to that particular client or that particular industry. Other than that, I mean, like I said, they're very general purpose, so they should be fine for just about anything.
Yeah, I was noticing that. And in this particular sub account, I had the review engine Snapshot installed, and then I installed Easy Wins, and then I just rewrote everything, and it should be okay. Correct.
Yeah,
that would be.
Yeah, and you can, once you've got it tailored to your client or your industry, you just create a snapshot of that for your own, for you to use for your, for your new clients.
Correct. Thank you. By the way, it's awesome.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it.
I was like, wow. And then I heard you guys talking about it took you about a year or 2 years to actually come up with, refine the process.
It's still being refined every single time.
Yeah,
like just now, he spoke about he's going to add the A2P compliance into it and all that. So it's and again, the reason for building that snapshot was because we wanted something for our clients, right? We want to make sure we are on top of it, and anything new, we want to make sure we deliver that to our clients. So this is exactly the reason we built it. It's not for selling anyways, but hey, you guys get benefit if you have it, but it's for our personal use. So we are going to make sure it's valid and always up to date and compliant into everything.
So does this mean, since you mentioned that it's for your personal use, does this mean you're not going to be selling it to the public, or it will be sold?
No. So so our main intention was not to build something and sell it. Our main intention was to build something for ourselves. We are not into the business of selling snapshots. It's just because we know we can do a good stuff, and people know, like, and trust us. So we open it up for you guys to have it, but that is not our main business model. Like, hey, we are snapshot sellers. No, that's not what we are. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I would be willing to give you guys a review on that, and
we would appreciate that.
So yeah, definitely. I'm sure.
See, again, we suck at marketing ourselves, like you said. I mean, we should ask for reviews, and we have 100 plus, like so many clients, man, who use our snapshot. We've never asked for reviews. Like we don't even have a landing. We have simple landing pages, and we don't focus on that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We don't have really good looking websites. Hey, here, go ahead and buy our snapshots and all that. No, nothing. We don't follow up. We don't nurture you guys. We don't do anything. Hey, you
We
want
need to do
snapshot?
a
Here's
little
the
bit of
link.
that.
Go
We
get
gotta,
it.
yeah,
We should do it. I
actually
mean,
have-
obviously it's a revenue. I mean, I
we
would
have a
appreciate any
heck of
revenue.
we got a great Google sheet we've been working on with all the different resources for
Yeah.
just services and things like that that might be helpful that we've used and we find helpful and that sort of thing that
Yeah.
we're actually going to be we should be emailing all the people that join the Facebook group, and I just need to go back and just like email everybody, hey, here's your resource. But yeah, we have a bunch of that sort of stuff that we've been slowly working on and pushing out as we can, because Alok's busy, he's got a new
We'll-
kid, and you know,
yeah,
all kinds
we'll
of
get there
things. We're all
someday.
busy
This
like all
month-
over the place.
This month is the only month I would say I'm half available, less than half. But yeah, next month onwards, I'm 100% in, man. Can't sustain long. I have to get back to work. It's killing me. I'm not working.
Awesome. Well,
So how are you doing, Yuvi, with all your outreach and your lead generation?
are you asking me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're just checking in with
pretty
everybody,
good.
seeing how everybody's doing.
Yeah. Thank you. No, with Outreach, I haven't really tried it. I installed it and I put everything, but then I got distracted. But everything I saw, I was like, okay, this is solid. With the Easy Wins, I installed it in a few accounts, and I just wanted to make sure that I did everything right. That's why I asked you the questions. And I'm going to be installing in about 5 more sub accounts tomorrow. So looking forward to it. So thank you guys
Good.
for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then for sales or prospecting, well, my business partner is the one that works with that. I just fulfill and whatnot, but I also sell when it needs to be.
Yeah.
When I need to be there.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Hey, I have a question. Whoever knows the answer to this. I have a client who we did an email broadcast. So the dentist client of mine, if you guys remember, we spoke a while ago. We did an email broadcast to segmented like thousands, 1,100 something people. I use LC Mail. He has a dedicated domain and everything. I thought so. His list is not that great, and that's what happened. So he did a broadcast to 1,100 of those yesterday, and I got an email for bounce rate, high bounce rate. So the LC email, the cutoff threshold is 3% bounce rate, and his was 6.1. And now I want to make sure I clean his list because I wanted to show him, like, he would not trust me. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, let's wait and I'll show you the proof that it's crappy list. So I want to now clean his list, like turn on email validation for him so I can obviously get the rebilling in. But what would be the best way to go ahead and validate all of his contacts once again?
I don't know.
Should
that
I
you can-
download the CSV and re-upload and make sure it's validated again? Is that the only best way? Because he has altogether 10,000 something contacts.
I would download the list and then run it through bulk email checker, because 10,000 contacts is nothing in bulk email checker. And
No,
then
fuck,
once
I would do it on HighLevel, man. I mean, I would get rebilling.
okay,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if it does that, but I
I
guess
would.
what you do
I'll
is-
leave it to him. Like, hey, look, here's our
Okay.
cost if you want us to do it, or else you can go ahead and do it yourself somewhere.
yeah,
But
I'm not
if I want
familiar.
to
I'm
do
not
it-
familiar with how the high level validation works. I didn't know if it was like for sending or if when you actually
So-
Are you
import.
using
the list.
Mailgun?
No, LC email.
So I will tell you this. So on the LC email verification,
Hmm.
if you upload a new list,
Yeah,
okay, I don't
you
know.
can do it.
I don't know if you export the list and then try to upload it as an update, but the contact's already, I don't think it'll work. But if you have a CSV, say you have a blank account and you upload a CSV, as long as you have LC email verification turned on for that sub account, it will verify every email in that CSV. Then by default, it will automatically verify
Any
every
new
100
contacts.
and well, no, it'll re-verify all emails every 100
Every 90 days. Oh, no, was it 180?
every
Yeah,
180,
something.
or you can set it to 90.
Okay.
At the agency level, there's a toggle to where you can force it to do it every 90 days.
Really?
But the
Okay.
default is 180.
Okay.
So it won't go past outside of 180 without getting revalidated.
Right.
But other than that, there's no bulk way to do it.
So you're recommending obviously download the whole contact database as a CSV.
You
And
would
then
either have to
delete. I would say just delete all the
Correct,
contacts and then re-upload.
but then you're going to lose any. I mean, if it was me,
If there's anything active,
what's that?
if there's any active workflows or something, we would.
Yeah,
Right.
you're
Yeah,
going to
they're
lose
gonna be
all
deleted out.
conversations, everything, because it's all tied to the contact.
Correct.
Everything's tied to the contact in HighLevel, so you would essentially lose everything. In many ways. Not, I mean, obviously you still have all the data that you download from the CSV, but
Yeah.
everything else would get lost. But at the same time, even if you download it and use an external validator of, there's a million of them out there.
Yeah.
What I would do is I would have all the ones that are marked bad.
Yeah. Just tag them
I would
separately and bring them.
I would do them as either tag them in a CSV or simply do a find and replace and just put none at email.com, and then you could filter and set all those to D&D once you re-upload them or something. You'd have to tag them because you're have
tag
to
is the best one. Yeah. Tag
you'd
would
have
be
to
best.
tag them and then have
And then I can just D&D all of them.
Yeah, have a workflow that just says if this tag exists, then
D&D.
Yeah, and there should be a workflow for email bounces anyway. So like for all the email events, somebody unsubscribes, somebody does whatever we tag them.
Well, that's in the company settings, so you can turn that. You don't even have to have
That's
a
on.
workflow
No,
for the bounce.
that is on.
Yeah.
No, but that's
a simple toggle.
That toggle just shuts it off from LC email side. What he's recommending is just having a workflow and just D&D ourselves. So at least we are in control.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's the best way. I'll probably just charge him for validation and then tag the contacts and D&D them. That's the best way.
May I ask you a question? Because I did something similar. Long story short, how much would you charge for email validation? You.
Me?
Because I just realized that, I still have a Mailgun account, and that's why I was asking you if you use Mailgun, and they give me 5,000 validations every month and whatnot, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
But how would you guys go about charging for that? Because I feel kind of like, it's something so easy, but oh well.
So, okay, well, here's the thing. It's easy for you.
Correct.
Majority of the people don't even know that there is a thing called email validation. Forget about being easy. They don't even know that this is a thing. So it's easy for you because you deal with this every single day. Trust me, your clients don't know that. So you decide the charge. When I say you decide, I mean, in HighLevel yourself, if you're on 497 plan, you can rebuild them, right? So I'm literally, I've turned it on, and here's what I'll just show you. I'm going to go into his sub account settings so I can just share. I'm literally on it. So what am I sharing? Do you see, guys? Lead Connector Hub.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I think it's the one. So if you go into sub accounts, find that client, right? And then go into that client's settings, manage client, you'll see all the rebilling charges. I'm going to, because I told him, and I'm being selfish here because I told him your list doesn't look like it's a good list. It's old list. Let's just make sure it's a clean list. He's like, no, it is clean. Okay. I'm going to 4x this bloody price. I'm going to charge him 1 cent. I literally sent you a message like, hey, it would be 1 cent per email if you want me to verify, or you're welcome to use any third-party email verification softwares. So I just
Sorry,
left now. Sorry.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave it to him now. Like, hey, but this is a priority now. I've literally sent him a message. Like, where is it? I said, I said, we have found an issue with your contacts and the database. Your bounce rate is very high, which means your database is fake, wrong, or not valid emails. So we'll have to validate the list. We can turn on the auto validation, which will cost you 1 cent per email verification if we do it, or you're welcome to use another third-party tool to do verification yourself. But this is a priority as this is affecting our email sending reputation. This is affecting the email sending reputation of our servers. Please take this seriously as soon as possible. I literally just left that message to him, and I'm going to charge if he says, oh yeah, because I made sure this is a priority. It's affecting our sending reputation, not just yours. So your email sending is first of all shut down automatically because that's what HighLevel does. Here, I got an email from them. That's how I know, right? So this is the email which HighLevel sent me. Like for this sub account, it's 6.1 instead of 3. It should be less than 3% bounce rate.
Correct.
Right. So the ball is in your court in this case. But if you had to charge, I would just like it's not like if you go out there, there are what's this called? Never Bounce. That's one of the most expensive ones I've seen, Never Bounce. But what we've used before, Pat and myself, is Bulk Email Checker, right, Pat?
Yep, bulk email checker. Definitely the cheaper of the options.
Yeah, the cheaper, and we've used it, so we would recommend as well. So
100%.
But if I go to pricing for Never Bounce, how many emails you have? He has 10,000 emails. It would cost him $50 if he uses Never Bounce. So he is more than welcome to do it outside, but he will have to figure out how to do it, and he would have to do all the process. But I said, hey, so that means it's 0.5 cents, right? 0.005 cents pricing for him. I quoted him 1 cent. So I'm literally doubling this price. So if I have to do 10,000 emails for him, it would be $100. But we would do everything. You don't even have to worry, and everything would be done for you.
Correct.
Right? So you can literally match this price, 50 cent. So if you go to here, and if you just 2x it, which is here, that's the same price as Never Bounce. Right? So you decide what the price is. So Never Bounce is one of the most expensive ones out there, but it's really good as well. But having said that, we've used this Bulk Email Checker. It's crazy good. I mean, it's cheap. $10 for 10,000.
Got it.
Yeah. So we would recommend this as well.
I was thinking about charging maybe $500 or something like that, but I was way above.
I mean, if you can pull it through, I mean, look, like I said, I mean, it's totally up to you. Like if you think your client will pay for it, and if it's a priority and all that, why not? I would charge. But again, just be careful. Like if your clients know that, hey, this is the pricing out there, there could be a question coming our way. Like, hey, why is it so expensive?
Yeah.
You know?
I knew all these numbers and thank you. I had an idea. I didn't know him for sure, right? I had a really good idea and whatnot. And I was just like thinking just out loud, $500, $300 or something like that, just to give a number, right?
That's why the other thing I'll say to that, because I've been on the consumer side of that, where depending on the industries talk. And so like they may be like, oh yeah, that seems fair, and like no qualms about it. They pay you $300, $400, $500, whatever. And you're like, oh well, that was great. You know, they're happy. I'm happy. I made money. What could go wrong? Next thing you know, they're having lunch with someone else in the industry, and it somehow comes up in conversation. Never fails when it has to do with marketing and advertising. That other person has any clue as to what the real cost is, oh my gosh, that could be a bomb waiting to explode. So just be mindful of it. I mean, hey, listen, I've charged some pretty obscene prices for stuff. So you just have to be aware of the possible outcomes in all directions. But hey, I mean, if you can get $500 for it, man, hats
Yeah.
off to you.
I mean, yeah. So if you charge that, like I said, I mean, if you go crazy high than the market pricing, yeah, you can. I mean, if you want to, but then it could be just one off, or maybe two clients would pay you. But then if they start talking, I mean, they would realize, no, it's too much, and you may not get the third client. I would rather just keep it at market or just a little bit above the market. And
Yeah.
the reason I quoted him 1 cent is because I would do it for him. Right? Hey, it's going to be 1 cent, but you literally have to not just blink your eyes, just pay me, and it would be done. Right? Or else you do it yourself, and it's going to be 50 cents, and we're going to charge you exactly the same for any new, coming in. So I would think of that as a long-term strategy, and not just, like I said, man, I've charged clients for crazy numbers, but if it's not a long-term sustainable strategy, I would not do it.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
More times than not, it's just not worth it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have short payments coming through every time,
Yeah,
smaller amounts.
definitely.
I always kind of relate it to, Facebook. When you go on Facebook, how many times do you see a positive review or experience shared? But then you go and you see someone blasting a freaking business. Oh my gosh, everybody's commented on it, shared like 50 different places. And, it's blowing up like crazy. Bad word always spreads like wildfire.
Dude, what is news? News as an industry is that
Right.
they just the whole industry, like,
yeah.
it's all about negatives, man.
Yeah.
It's hardly any positives in the news.
Yeah.
So negative spreads quickly.
Yeah. At the end of the day, when it comes to running a good business, just always do what's right. No matter what the, cost and time spent monetarily, at the end of the day, you're always better off just to do what's right, even if it costs you money. Because in the long run, you'll earn that money back 10 times. And what money you would save by not doing business right, you'll end up losing 100 times that by just killing your reputation.
Yeah.
It's just never worth it. I see people try to work around systems all the time, and it never pans out in the long run. It's always a Band-Aid solution, temporary fix, and it always ends up costing them either more time or more money in the long run.
Got it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Good thinking. Thank you.
All right. Well, that was a good one. Good jam session on A2P and SMS and compliance and all kinds of stuff. So it's been about an hour. So if anybody has any more questions or doesn't have any more questions, my drink is empty. So
Well, thank you guys.
yeah.
Okay,
See you
thank
guys later.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
See you
we're
guys
gonna
later. Take care.
see you
See ya.
next week, I guess.
See you next week. Thank you.
Next
All right.
time.
See you
care,
guys in the
guys.
group.
Bye.
All right. Have a good one.